Breaking news from Arsenal as well. James Green is there for us. James, good to see you tonight. Tell us more.
Yeah, we've been waiting all day for this one, Emma, as Arsenal have posted the final piece of the puzzle is through the building. It is confirmed.
Now, another story regarding Arsenal. According to a couple of the papers, Arsenal are exploring a possible summer move for the Atlético Madrid striker Julián Alvarez for a potential fee of around £87 million. Now, it's just a couple of rumours in a couple of papers, but this would be massive if it happened, Andy. Do you honestly think it could happen?
I have a feeling Atletico might cash out. They're at least going to consider it, I think, because there's been a little bit of an uneasy relationship between Alvarez's entourage and the club for a while. There are people around him who think that he shouldn't have signed for Atletico because maybe they're not quite an elite club. They're maybe an A- club with pretensions to being an elite club, despite the stadiums, despite the Champions League finals, despite a couple of La Liga titles interspersed with what Real Madrid and Barcelona are doing. But of course, they're not quite on the same level as Real Madrid and Barcelona. I tell you what, he's played so much football recently, which kind of, in the last couple of years recently, that's what prompted City to sell him in the first place. And now, I think they're looking at him. They were looking at building that team around him once Griezmann's gone. Now, Griezmann's still there, but will probably go in the summer. But they're looking at it and they're thinking, you know what, we're not getting that consistency out of him. And maybe that's just a knock-on, like Lautaro Martinez, from playing so much football. But maybe they're thinking, just like City thought, maybe we make it someone else's problem. Because if his entourage aren't completely bought in, and, you know, they're not getting a tune out of him on a consistent basis, they have to at least think about it.
Mikel Arteta with Arsenal, who completed that perfect Champions League phase by beating bottom club Kairat Almaty 3-2. Their focus now returns to the Premier League title charge and a trip to Leeds on Saturday, which we've had a little chat about. But, Danny, finishing top, a huge bonus, you'd have to say, for Mikel Arteta. Are you backing them to go on and win the Champions League?
I still think it's very, very, very difficult.
OK.
To win are they going to win every single game now through to the final? No. You know, I would say they're going to lose a game. Do they lose 1-0 and then win the other game 2-0 and obviously go through? Mm-hmm. There's every chance of that as well. So I think it's going to depend on almost impossible. You know, we've seen it, only ever seen it once. So that's not going to be easy. There's one or two cracks. Obviously, you know, we've seen them in Arsenal at the moment. I guess the answer is, well, the question is, the centre forward. Do they have a centre forward that, if Arsenal are playing badly, who's going to score for them?
Yeah.
Who's going to get them that goal? You know, we've seen it in the past, in the likes of Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Harry Kane. Manchester City, Sergio Aguero, and then obviously after that, you've now got Erling Haaland to do that. Liverpool was Mo Salah, you know, before sort of this season would always come up with something. Do Arsenal have that player this season that, if they don't play well as a team, can almost just win the game out of nothing? I think that would be the question mark over Arsenal. But they're in the box seat. You know, they're playing well. They're still 4 points clear in the Premier League. They're top of the Champions League. Why not? I think it's just the last 2 or 3 seasons where people go, well, they haven't quite done it before. They might fail. And as I said before, I think if City overtake them in the league, psychologically, that'll be a big problem and a huge hurdle to try and overcome. But in the Champions League, they have to go into every game now with full confidence and full belief. And
obviously, they'd had a little bit of a wobble, shall we say. You know, they drew with Forest, they defeat Manchester United that no one really saw coming.
It's a bad time to play Manchester United, though.
I guess,
you know, Manchester United off the back of beating City. Michael Carrick's in, you know, there's a huge buzz about the place. Everybody's feeling better. Maybe it was just the wrong time to play Manchester United.